Peace was I trust we're doing well. So this week I've seen a lot of stories on social media relating to finances, relationships and betrayal. And mostly it goes against the men. Eventually comes back to the same old adage, don't trust women. This is what I notice mostly with men who help women. They tie these financial responsibilities to sex. Such that a woman needs something, she asks a man, then the man begins to see an ideal person for sex. Sometimes it's not even because they love them, but just because the lady has come to them for help. It's like, okay, I've given her help. How do I get payback? The only payback is maybe she may not even be able to pay the money to me, but it's also a good opportunity for me to use her body. And mostly, what I notice is that when a woman doesn't love you, but then you begin to show money to her, at the end of the day, it's money she wants. And whatever she has to do to get the money, she's going to do it. So she may never love you, but money is involved. So for as long as she can play along, just so she gets her money, thinking that, okay, I need the money to this particular time. After I've gotten the money, I'll decide what I want to do and then discard the person. And unfortunately, by then, most men would also have become addicted to the women or falling in love either with sex or how the woman treats them. And so then there's a problem to the extent that this week we saw a story where it's alleged a policeman gunned down his girlfriend because she had taken money from him and she wanted to leave the relationship. It's a different thing if a woman falls in love naturally with you. And when it comes to women falling in love, that's why there's an adage that because sometimes you see the kind of people women fall in love with. Whereas there could be another man who has all the glamour, the money, the wealth and everything. And yes, so these women will not choose them. They'll go on to choose other men that don't even make sense to society. Because when it comes to the issue of love and relationships, you can never tell what goes on in the mind of a man or a woman, for what reason they may have chosen the kind of people they decide to love. That's why it's possible a very beautiful woman would choose a drug addict, a toxic partner, an abuser, to the extent that she's battered to death or something. There are times there are women who have it all and they decide, per some instincts going on within them, that they prefer a man who has nothing. Even with that, sometimes it can bring bad consequences, because we've seen instances where women who had it all had taken on men who had nothing. There has been jealousy to the extent that some of these men had killed these women and taken control of their wealth. When it comes to the issue of love, it goes both ways for men and women. Sometimes the kind of women men choose don't even make sense to society. But until we go deep within them to understand the basis for what they do, you can never tell. And so that's why we always advise that in as much as love is important, money is important, also go with logic and reasonability in whatever you are doing. There's a difference between investing in somebody that you desire to be in a relationship with and then helping somebody. So for instance, a man meets a woman. To him, the woman is ideal for a marriage partner. But you realize that money is being invested heavily, in the sense that the woman is always asking for money. You should be quick enough to start thinking, well, I love the person and I don't mind investing everything, but what is the guarantee that the person really understands it's a loving contract or relationship, and so the person has to reciprocate, as against this person is just taking advantage of me, so I need to be smart and be on guard. Unfortunately for most men, when too much money has been involved and they fall in love with the women, then they feel nobody can have the woman. But see, even in very loving marriages where papers have been signed, children are involved, wealth is involved, sometimes things just happen and the marriages can come to an abrupt end. Even with that, couples are able to sit down, discuss one or two things, come to some settlement and decide to part ways peacefully, sharing children and properties and other responsibilities. How much more a relationship that haven't even gone under some written agreements or contracts or marriage? Anything can happen. This is not also to tell men that just on the random go about, find this lady, oh, she's beautiful, I want to invest in her, so I marry her. And then after you've done everything, she says she doesn't want to be with you, and then you just leave her to go. No, I'm not suggesting that. But the point is, we should be very reasonable. You could be in a relationship with somebody, and because you have at the back of your mind that nothing is guaranteed, whatever help you are giving, let's say a person says, I need 1,000 for something. And because you are very thoughtful, you know you don't have that kind of money to just spare. Okay, maybe I can't get all that for you, but I can give you half of the money. And if the person loves you, the person will accept it and still try to manage with it. But if the person is a gold digger, you'd even notice from there, because from the person's behavior, you can tell what the person has in mind towards you. On the other hand, there are instances where some men may not even have, but because they are toxic and they want to keep a particular woman in bondage of ensuring that it's solely them the person chooses. The lady can say, I just need 1,000 cedis. And the man will do everything he can, even if he doesn't have that exact money, just to get that money. That is also the sign of a gold digger of a man. Because what you don't have, why do you force so much to give to another person? And so eventually there's bitterness, betrayal is felt, and some men think they have to take the life of women. Loving somebody and investing in another person is never a guarantee to take the life of another person. We women have also invested in relationships where we met men and we felt like, this man, he'll marry me no matter what. It's me and him. And so even what we don't have or the little we have, they ask, we go all out to give everything. Eventually, the kind of things they say and their actions, you realize you're even not their taste in the kind of women they want. But because, well, for the moment, they were also gaining something and they felt comfortable with it. Well, let me just adjust to the person until you learn sense and you begin to walk away from the relationship. So let's all be very reasonable and thoughtful when it comes to relationships. Dialogue openly with people as to what each partner wants exactly in the relationship. If it's possible to go along with it, fine. If it's not, talk through things, and if you have to part ways, so peace is assured, then that is also possible. Peace and blessings to us all.